All right, chat. We're gonna go over the indicator, right? So normally you would have nothing, and this is how your chart would look. Usually you would have ICT kill zones at least, so you know um, where things are opening, like sessions and midnight open and session highs and session lows and all that shit. But we don't need that. We have our indicator that shows all the sessions. It shows our SMT divergences between ES, or if you want to use a different thing like the Dow, you could change that. It shows if it's a bullish SMT or bearish, right? You get a journal, top right. It's not really, I was trying to make it so you could click on it, like, and then it'll increase it, but unfortunately there's no way to do that. Because it's too complicated of a code, but you could jot down your notes for win, and then it will automatically calculate your win rate, break even, and losses, right? But yeah, so yeah, you have the journal. You could toggle that off and on if you want. You could toggle all these off and on. We also have order blocks and rejection blocks, and then we have this option to show SMTs or order blocks only for the day, so your screen isn't cluttered. But if you unclick it, it'll show previous order blocks and SMTs. You also have this that will show or unshow the order blocks if said order block is filled, like this. Show you an example. This order block, and then when we tick it, it gets filled, so it removes it for you, making it mitigated, right? Then you could change all the settings and colors if you want. And then we have our fib. Here's our fib. You don't want to change any of these settings besides max history, probably. It just shows you all these red and green lines, right? Now you might be wondering, what does the red and green lines indicate? Reds indicate a bearish fib, right? Indicates a bearish fib, like that, I believe so. That's our bearish fib, and then the green indicates our bullish fib. Or whatever, but yeah, indicates our bearish and bullish fib levels. So if it's bearish, you would want price to come up towards it, tap it, and then you take sells. If it comes down, you would want it to tap it and then bounce off for buys, right? So those are those three options that we have. We have show price levels, right? And then we have our actual levels up here. So if we enable or disable those, you can also show historical levels like this. These are all 0.618 levels, but yeah. And then you can also enable the other options for the main fib right here. Then we have our target levels, not necessarily, but you can enable and disable these to make it like less clutter if you want. Now, here's the big thing that I've noticed. We have higher time frame fibs that are automatically marked out for us. So we have the 1 hour and we have the 4 hour. And same thing with the normal fib. We have a bullish and bearish fib levels, right? Boom, boom. Okay, I'm gonna reopen it. Okay, over that, and you could extend those infinitely to the right or to the left, right? So you can have more information. Right. Now, next thing we have market midnight open right here. You could enable and disable that. That's just a spot where market could bounce off of or reject off and etc. So like London here, it rejects off of it, etc. Um, then we have our sessions. So this is all grouped within one session, right? So if you want to look at older sessions or you want to remove older sessions, you would change the amount to fit your needs, right? So we have two, we have one session, it shows one, or it shows two sessions. This is kind of hard to configure, so it'll probably not be correct most of the time. But you want to just keep it at 3, and it should be good, right? And you could change the sizes of the sessions, names, right? And this just shows the high of the session and the low of the session. Um, Next, you don't want to touch any of these really. Um, oh, we also have a thing, right? So whenever New York touches any of the session highs or lows, it'll indicate with the line of the session. Usually it's dashed. It'll indicate with it being filled as a solid line, like that, which is something I like. So I added it. Boom. And boom. There you go. Right. Then let's go ahead and look down more. We also have our timelines, which we could turn off and on. This just shows the one at 7:30 and 7 o'clock. This is where you want to start trading. If you do start trading, this is the earliest time you should start or could start. But you want to go aim for 7:30. Now, we also have, let me see, this 9:30, because sometimes market manipulates at 9 before 9:30. So that's a good thing to have. And then it only shows, I believe, the most recent one. Yeah. Alright. Yeah. Basically, that's it. That's how you use the fib, or that's how you use the indicator and everything that includes.